Most RPGs have a similar setting. You are the chosen one, you possess great intellectual and physical capabilities, plus all the womenfolk worship the ground you walk on, despite your appearance. A nice escape from reality, but not Kingdom Come Deliverance. This is a video game series where the developers favor historical accuracy over action and instant gratification. The first game starts you off as a medieval blacksmith peasant named Henry. It's immediately abundantly clear that Henry is not a hero, but he does feel the call of adventure. This is a trope we often see in RPGs, but that narrative is often brushed to the side, in favor of getting a player to great power levels.
Yes, I know you are 10 years old, but you've mastered the bow, sword fighting, and magic flows through your veins like nothing I have ever seen. I cannot teach you anything you don't naturally possess.
While Henry, on the other hand, starts off with chores, and he can't even do that right.
I have charcoal, the hilt, and the ale. We can start.
Where have you been with that ale? It's as flat and warm as horse piss.
This game is set in reality, and escaping from disappointed parents is a luxury that Kingdom Come does not give to the player. And if you want to disappoint your parents even more, why not subscribe to the channel? We are so close to 1 million. Most RPGs function as a power fantasy, while level progression and growing more powerful as the game continues is a huge factor within these games. It is entirely viable to finish most of them without leveling. Except Dark Souls 2, that was f***ed up. To get Henry to an adequate power level where he does not function similarly to an asthmatic toddler, you will have to spend a few hours training and increasing skill levels, because level 1 Henry is borderline useless. And this is not limited to combat encounters.
If you don't stop pissing me off, I'll rip off your and shove them down your throat. Haha, nice try.
Not often do games hamstring a player this way. There's no instant gratification within Kingdom Come. If you want to improve, you have to train. This applies to most skills in the game, except Hound Mastery. Even if you're familiar with the counterintuitive combat system, you will not be able to make the most of it if Henry does not have the correct stats. The one move that makes melee combat viable can only be unlocked from a trainer after reaching level 5 in a weapon skill. That whole sequence is entirely optional, and you'll only be told that this is even an option if you engage in dialogue with side characters. A huge improvement to Henry's power level is hidden in plain sight. Thus, a player is rewarded for paying attention to the dialogue, the world and the systems. If they do not do that, or don't use Google, they will miss out on information and mechanics that make the combat system better. If you do manage to get past the initial hurdles, Henry will learn to handle himself better, and you, the player, will improve in using the combat system, making your rise to power not only feel good, but earned. In short, a small time investment and not taking the time to learn the ins and outs is a bad experience, while a large time investment and actively engaging with the systems and the world will result in a good experience. The first game was heavily criticized for having this slow pace, but I don't think so. I think the slow pace isn't a flaw, but rather the entire point of the experience. Some might call the games boring because of this, but this opens up avenues for other components of the game to land. As a design philosophy, Kingdom Come always held on to trying to be as historically accurate as possible. While it's debatable to what extent they succeeded, you can really see the effort that went into defending this philosophy. Generally speaking, RPGs have a lore dump while telling the rest of the story within quests and cutscenes. And while Kingdom Come is also guilty of this, they added a decently sized codex. Whenever a player encounters something related to the historical setting, they are prompted to open the Codex so they can learn more about it. Since the player is expected to hold a slower pace to begin with because of how the game is designed, I feel like players are more receptive to reading the Codex entries and taking their time with it, as opposed to if this game was an adrenaline-fueled power fantasy. The quests are designed in a way that Henry will travel all over the map, engaging and interacting with all sorts of actors and professions. I encountered huntsmen, herbalists and shepherds, all with their own entry in the Codex. It was through the latter that I learned how they were married to the animals in medieval times. Or something. Most RPGs are like spending time in an amusement park, going from one thrill to the next. while action and excitement take precedence over taking it all in. KCD, on the other hand, made me feel like I was spending time in a museum, learning about historical events in medieval Bohemia through the eyes of a peasant turned noble. These outings are approached with very different feelings and mindsets. Because of KCD, I now know about the Hussite Wars and the Golden Bull for some reason. This is information I would not have had if I had not played Kingdom Come Deliverance, which led me to the following conclusion. I've been tricked into learning in my leisure time. Hi, thanks for watching. If you want to watch a short 47-minute recap of Kingdom Come Deliverance 1, I got you, homie.
The bastard who led the attack at Scarlet and killed my parents.
Hallo!